I just wondered whether Celtic should have been prioritising. I thought Hearts bullied Celtic.
I mean, it's exciting though. Even at this time of the season, you're still speaking. Usually, Celtic will get the title wrapped up by this stage.
I think Hearts, Rangers, Celtic at this moment in time.
This year is a better title race in Scotland.
Guys, what a weekend of football. We've now got a 2-horse race. What did you make of it?
What, the 2-horse race?
Yes.
Is it a 2-horse race? That may be so if Celtic don't sign some players.
Well, we're still going to signing players.
Yes, I think that's how it'll be decided. I genuinely think that's how it'll be decided. But no, good weekend for your boys, Rangers and Hearts, and for Celtic. I don't think the point is the worst point for them, but the manner of the way that Hearts ran all over them, that is going to be Martin O'Neill's concern. So if Celtic don't get 3 or 4 bodies in, I think they're screwed.
Positions.
Do you know what? Yesterday, I thought they got absolutely mauled in midfield. I thought Engels struggled. I know Negron got his goal, but I thought he struggled. And I think that would be a concern. So I think you're looking midfield, you're looking at another striker, a wide player. Got to say, Schmeichel, for all the criticism he's had, and I've been one to criticise him, I thought he made a couple of really important saves. And centre-back, I mean, with the greatest will in the world, I don't think that Dane Murray is the answer to Martin's issue at centre-back if he gets any more injuries. So, look, I think Martin, behind the scenes, would have been working tirelessly to bring players in. But the whole thing's a complete mess because now we're getting towards the end of January, even Tranchara coming in as a striker. I mean, ideally, Martin said before the game, it's needs must. He had to throw him in. Yeah. But you want to be bringing players in at the start of the month to bed in, because as much as the early signs I thought from Tranchara were actually okay, you could see that he didn't have the understanding, certainly with the wide players, and the combinations weren't quite there. He did well for the Yang goal, but that will come. But no, I think Celtic are in a bit of bother. I really do.
What you said, Martin O'Neill said last week about the delayed signings was partly him in terms of watching players making his mind up. Surely, like you said, you're into the last week, both for Rangers and Celtic. I've had the need for a goal scorer at the start of the window, and you're literally sitting going into the last week needing the same.
To be honest, I think when you look at it, I mean, we've touched on it loads of times, not only in this show but elsewhere and other platforms, that there is a real shortage of number 9s that are scoring goals worldwide, and it's only going to get worse for me. So I think to harp on about a number 9 as such, I think overall you need to have players that are scoring 10, 12, 15 goals all over the pitch. It helps if you've got a striker that's going to get you 20, 25, there's no doubt about that, but I just think the shift in football, and it's not a recent thing, it's been ongoing now for a number of years, that the old school way of depending on your number 9 to pull you out of hole it's no longer there for a lot of teams. But
take Stewart and Maswinisi, right? You watch them in a game and you know they're going to get a chance because they're in the width of the box. Yeah. Rangers Celtic don't have their strikers. They don't have guys that are just hunt like yourself, that would hunt, just wait for that right moment and happy to take a chance. That's a big problem for both of them.
No, I get it, and I mean we spoke about it with Celtic under Wilfred Nancy. They were creating chances, but there wasn't that person at the top end who was going to. Or you felt as if they're going to score. And I don't care what anyone says. If you don't have, I mean, you've played as a striker, but you've played off one as well, so you have that, and you've been the exact same. If you don't have full confidence in that person through the middle, I think sometimes you have second thoughts of your balls into the box, you overthink it, maybe your little balls down, and all of a sudden it's a knock-on effect that it has in the rest of the team. But if you've got someone at the top end, when by the way, if we put this ball in here, does it even need to be a good ball, and there's a good chance he can get on and end it, all of a sudden more chances will be created.
Well, that's probably the difference between Hearts. Hearts have had Shankland and Braga who have continuously done that.
What? See, you look at Celtic as well right now, and there is no doubt that they have very good players, but I feel as if the last few, they've missed a lot of the midfield out as well. and they've went more direct. They're turning teams. And by the way, I am not criticising that because, for me, I think we've all been caught up in this Pep Guardiola style of football where every single team has to play out from the back and play through the lines, and it's very attractive to watch. But at the same time, certain teams can't do that, but I feel as if Celtic can still do it. But they're going long a lot of the times now as well.
Look, I think if you look at Martin O'Neill, first time round, if you sort of heard his mantra after games, it was always, it's about winning. I don't think the team were playing particularly well. And I think Martin, was well aware of that. You think St Mirren away, you think Hibs away, where... it ended up getting over the line. And when you actually strip everything back and you look at the job he's done domestically, I mean, it's phenomenal, really, that he's got Celtic back into or keeping them up with a title race. The Wilfred Nancy period, if Celtic end up not winning the title at this moment in time, I think they'll finish third. But if they, that'll be that period which everybody looks at and think that's why Celtic haven't won the title. It's not on Martin, but at this moment in time, even Shranchara at the weekend, that is a gamble. Throwing him in, that's not ideal. A couple of days training, I think one with the B team, and then
before they come back.
Celtic were away in Bologna, and even the Europa result and the team Martin put out. I know Martin, is a competitor. He wants to win every game, but I just wondered whether Celtic should have been prioritising the game at the weekend over that, and I think they were, certainly second half they were a bit fatigued. I don't know whether I'm certainly not using that as an excuse because if you play at Celtic Rangers, you should really sort of
you're going to be playing midweek and the weekend.
You do so. Absolutely no excuses. But I thought Hearts bullied Celtic, and that would be a worry. And Martin will be well aware of that. And he'll be working ferociously hard. But, getting players at the end of January, we know is notoriously difficult because of inflated prices and what have you. But they're going to have to gamble.
They've left themselves in that position, and that's why they're going to need to just gamble and do it. Going back to the game yesterday, I think for the first half hour, Hearts didn't really know how to really go about the game, which allowed Celtic to the opportunity to get that passing that going. But the passing yesterday was probably some of the worst I've seen in any Celtic team. Like that core of the midfield.
I think the goal settled them down, didn't it? But
Engels hides, in my opinion. And if you look at the way, Hearts were wanting Celtic to build, it was, leave Trusty on the ball, nullify McGregor. And everybody's cottoned onto that now. Nullify McGregor and Celtic have got a problem. And then, if Engels was hiding, look, Nygren, I think technically he's a good footballer, but I don't think he can run. I don't think he has the legs. And that's an issue. And then you're sitting wanting quality from the wide areas, Yang and Maida. And I mean, Days and Maida yesterday was back to the, had his boots on the wrong feet.
The thing is, though, and I know, listen, we've had plenty of discussions regarding Nygren as well, but you look at, got the goal during the week against Falkirk as well.
It's a goal threat all the time.
It's do you maybe try and adapt the formation to try and get the best out of him? When you think back to, your team, you had the two midfielders and the one at the top of it. I know Celtic are playing with Callum McGregor sitting and then maybe two up front. Do you sit with maybe two behind the ball and then have Nygren where he can just get into the box all the time?
I think he needs to play because he's the biggest goal threat that Celtic have got.
Joint top goal scorer in the league.
And I agree with you. In that build-up and the link-up, even yesterday, it was scruffy. It wasn't tidy or slick. But in the final third, he makes good runs. He gets good positions and he inevitably gets chances most weeks.
I mean, I think, the free kick, I think it was Celtic's...
Mental that start.
I mean, that was unbelievable, wasn't it? Since David Turnbull,
21 or 22?
21. Yeah, but he can't. Goal aside, he went missing for the rest of the game, that's my issue. With him. But you may look and think, well, for a couple of million, what do you expect? In today's market, but I don't think that he's been a success at Celtic. I know you can look at the goals and what have you, but I think if Martin will be demanding far more from his midfield players and want more from Benjamin Nygren. But the issue is new striker in, you're not quite sure about that sort of understanding, that combination, that connection, and that's what's killed Celtic.
Yeah, I think probably, when you look back at the weekend and, there's surprises in there, but Surely the biggest one of them all was Celtic getting a red card.
What's it?
What do you think?
Right, what do I think? Honestly, I think it could have gone either way. I thought, my opinion was that Liam Scales could have got back. I actually don't have a problem with Stephen McLean, the referee, going over to the monitor and it being a subjective call. And I understand the argument that Kabori could have got a shot off. I understand that. But, you know, my feeling was a little bit like Martin O'Neill's, and I'm not just saying it for the sake of it, that Scales could have got back. But I don't have a problem with the referee going and making that decision.
See, I don't know why VAR did get involved, because it was so subjective. I think the way the ball was going that's where I think the debate comes in, because is he going to get his body around, get a shot off when there is a covering player? I agree that it could have went either way.
I don't mind VAR getting involved in that though, because you know if the referee in real time gets that call wrong and isn't quite sure because there was a coming together. Mm-hmm. You know that's what it was. So if he has to go and check and is advised to go and check, then
I think that then changes in the mindset of the effectively it's kind of saying, oh, I think you've got this one wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas it's so subjective. We don't know whether we get the shot off or not, and that's where
I think we know he's getting the shot off. I think there's no doubt Kabori's getting a shot off. He's definitely getting there. He's definitely getting there.
But if it's for a tight angle,
I think we're subject where he's getting the shot from, but he's definitely getting there. He should.
And that's where
a player playing at that level should get there, get the touch and get a shot off.
Mm-hmm.
Laws of the game, red card.
I don't know whether the old player playing at that level or whatever. It would be the angle of the shot, wouldn't it? Which we're talking about, and whether Scales would have.
So, but we're agreeing he would get there, get a touch and get a shot. So it's a red card.
I don't have a problem with him going and making that decision. If you flipped it and it was at the other end, and I'd have said the same thing. I think that Celtic fans will be angered about that decision. But you flip it, they'd be screaming.
That surely has to be a positive.
I don't mind I don't mind him going and looking at the monitor and making that call as he sees it, and I think it could have gone either way.
That's surely the biggest positive for Celtic. That last 15 minutes that they managed to get a point rather than crumble for the amount of pressure.
I was going to ask, who's the bigger point for? Or
Celtic,
who'd be more
for
pleased?
me, Celtic. Hearts battered them. As soon as Hearts had the belief and the understanding of how they can hurt Celtic, they dominated the game for me.
How impressed were you with? I know, we get caught up in a lot of times we speak about Hearts like set plays, and that's part of the game. But I actually thought they managed the game properly after that as well.
Selecting 4 centre halves kind of told me they're going to try and be physical and dominate and get in areas that they can get balls in the box. I think at the moment Hearts are got to be up there with favourites to go and do it and win the league. The one question mark is that first half hour when their games are so nervy and so on edge. How's the team going to react, especially without Shankland, without Devlin?
But I think Hearts, they have the ability. One of Derek's traits as a manager, his teams always defend the box well. Yeah, they always do. So he's not bothered about possession. Derek isn't in the slightest about possession. It's just about being effective. And I can't really remember too many Celtic sides being bullied as Hearts bullied them yesterday. I mean, balls into the box, I think is one of Celtic's weakness. Yeah. It just is, and Hearts exploited it.
I think even giving away so many free kicks as well to allow Hearts to put the ball in the box. But speaking about the title race, Rangers, another, I know it's 2 late goals, but 3-0 victory at home as well. Danny Rohl will be, you would imagine, extremely pleased with that performance as well.
If ever there's a blueprint for a manager to come into a club and just get things done, it's that. He's done it consistently with the team that he's had. They've recruited Olsen. I think will be a really good signing if he can get up to speed quick enough. But what's that, 8 wins in a row?
9.
Not looking really elegant at that, but they're really efficient, really much more solid defensively, and they're carrying more of a threat. So that's big. It's just, and what it has done, I think, is built momentum and brought it back into a 3-horse race.
3 horse?
Yeah.
Were you happy with Rangers' result yesterday?
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, good for them. Good.
Come on, friend. You can give us a little bit more than that.
I mean, it was not like a brilliant question. Was I happy with the Rangers won? Yeah. I think your question could have been put a little bit better. I really admire what Danny Rohl has done, and I think he's just brought a bit of stability to the team. I think defensively they are far more sound. There's that sort of belief now, and they're gathering momentum. But it's whether they can carry it on. They play Hearts
a few weeks. Go to Habs the weekend,
few weeks time. And look, the question will be, and everybody will be, talking about. Sort of, players who have been there over a longer period now have always found a way to crumble, and that's it's going to be about mentality. But for Danny Rohl to come in, and I never thought, and I think I said this on it before, I never thought Rangers were out of it when they were behind, just because of the nature of Celtic's fragility as much as anything, and then Hearts being the unknown, because we didn't know whether Hearts could carry this run on, and now they're being tested, injuries to key players. And shown with that performance against Celtic that probably they can cope. I think they got Dundee United away, St Mirren away, and they're not. Yeah. They're tricky. They're tricky
and
games.
And then Habs.
Yeah, I mean, they're not easy games. Yeah. And but no, for Rangers, it's about carrying on the momentum. They've got they've got players in over the transfer window. There may be more to come.
I think there will be.
I still think there needs to be.
It was a bit strange yesterday as well. Danilo scored the goal. I thought it was a more like. As if that's my last goal, basically. I mean, he has been linked with moves away, so it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out in the next few days as well. But if he goes, there's no doubt. I mean, I still think even if he stays, then Rangers will go and get someone else in at that top end of the pitch. I mean, I don't know if I think we all sat here and said Miovski would have been a really good sign. He struggled though. He has struggled. Really struggled. He struggled.
But I also think that's his link up play now is getting more exposed than it did Aberdeen, because they never really get involved too much in that build and link up.
Aberdeen were counter-attack when he was when he was successful as a striker, and his greatest strength, sorry for butting in, was that movement in behind, pace in behind. You think about his goals, quick transition. You don't like the word transition, do you? But and that was his strength. It's when sides sit deep where I think he can be a little bit frustrating.
Here's a question. Out of the three teams, can you see any of them in this last third of the season going on a run that Rangers are currently on when the games are more tense, they're against the top six at the bottom? Can you see one of them, like we've seen in past, where they just keep win?
I'm not so sure. I mean, I think Rangers are on a terrific run right now, and that's one of the main reasons why why they've been able to drag themselves back into a title race. How long does it go on for? I'm not sure. Celtic's next run of fixtures are relatively easier on paper. We know there's no easy games, but there's a few of them at home now as well, after being away from home.
Who are the easy games for Celtic?
But listen, they're at home. Usually they're okay at home. There's no getting away from that.
I think they've got Falkirk at home.
Yeah, no, I know, but
I don't think any team playing Falkirk's a gimme.
Yeah, no, listen, I'll take that on board. But as I said, I think Celtic at home have still shown that they can cause teams problems. Obviously, they're winning games. The Dundee United game where you could rewind a few weeks ago, United beat them at Tynecastle and Celtic totally ran over the top of them. So, I mean, Martin will be absolutely delighted just to be back at home, starting on Thursday night. But Rangers, I think it's a huge challenge for them on Sunday at Easter Road. I mean, Hibs off the back of a couple of poor results as well and performances. If Rangers have to go through there and get 3 points, all of a sudden it's another away difficult venue ticked off.
That was one of Danny Rohl's first games, wasn't it? Away from home 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0, yeah. I think Danilo won it. Danilo scored from the edge.
One shot on target.
Yeah, it was enough to win the game though. But and as for Hearts, you touched on it, Chris. Tannadice won't be easy on Saturday night for them either, but it does. I mean, it's exciting though. Even at this time of the season, you're still speaking. Usually, Celtic will get the title wrapped up by this stage, and it's just like, okay, we're looking forward to who can get players in. Maybe to finish second or third or that. But I mean, it's good that we're still speaking about a title race. And there's no doubt the next few days of the transfer window will play a big partner.
Massive partner, massive. I think
Give me your 3-2-1.
Like I said, at the moment, I think Hearts have got the squad, they've got the mentality. The only bit that I can see Hearts or tripping Hearts up is when the pressure at that final stages of a season, they've not been there before. So that's the really hard part. That's where but I think Hearts, Rangers, Celtic at this moment in time.
Do you know, it's like, I know what you're saying. I know what we always say it in terms of, you know, that last part getting over the line, and Celtic have done it. But I mean, you'd obviously won an English Premier League and you came up to Celtic, but there was a lot of players in that Celtic dressing room hadn't won a title.
I know,
we hadn't won a title before our first one.
I know,
either.
but you go into an environment where everybody around about anybody that's new have been there before. They do understand it and they do know what it takes.
Yeah.
So if somebody gets too high and too cocky, they get brought back down very quickly.
Yeah.
Hearts, in some respects, need to use that unknown and just enjoy the ride that then just gets them so far that they go, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Hearts have answered a lot of questions.
Definitely.
So, you know, going down to 10 men against Dundee and then St Mirren, and you know, having to battle with, you know, for long periods with 10 men and ending up winning those games, you just, you know, when things like that happen, the performance against Celtic, you know, you just get a feeling.
I agree.
So what was your...
Hearts, Rangers, Celtic.
So Hearts will win the league?
Yes, at this moment in time.
Okay. Mr. Sutton?
Yeah, same.
Same?
Yeah, we just asked me. I said same, so that means the same.
What are you? You're for surprised at that?
I'm
So
just
give me
surprised
yours.
that big man's you've got Celtic
No,
third.
let's wait and see what happens the next.
It's taking the pressure off them.
Let's wait and see what happens before the end of January.
That
Honestly,
is a massive act.
if Celtic do not get 3 or 4 players in,
Yeah, I agree with
will-
that. That's
they
why
will
I
not
put
win
them
the
third.
league.
Definitely. Their squad's so... You're relying on so many, a couple of individuals to drag you through games. What is it for you?
I'm going to say Celtic second,
Oh, you're teasing us here.
Hearts third, and Rangers.
Wow.
How's that sound for you?
Is that on current squads right now?
That's in current squads right now. So what we're saying...
Why do you think Hearts will be third?
Because I think Celtic will improve. I think Celtic will get a couple of players in. I think they'll improve. I don't think Celtic are a million miles away. I really don't. And they're not... I mean, I think a lot of people have been scarred by what Celtic have done in the past. It's not the Celtic team of old, but there are still players in there that can cause you problems.
Also,
and there is no
depends.
doubt, I
There are
think,
players
even
that come back for injury as well.
as you touch on the window, there'll be
There's not
players
got
in
many
that
coming
Celtic
back,
dressing
have they?
room.
I don't know.
Alistair Johnstone will come back, but there's going to be no Carter Vickers.
in the actuals back training.
natural.
He'll make a difference if he can get...
Well,
Boyd.
he'll probably pull his calf in training. Be out for
What
another
about
6
so
weeks.
if you know if we're saying that especially Rangers and Celtic still need a striker, and it's I mean Motherwell have had a fantastic season, would you still be looking at even Bowie, Maswanise to add to the front line?
Maswanise, I think.
You like him, eh?
It's just your safest. You've seen it so many times, the Old Firm signing a player within the league that just fits in and enjoys that progression. Like yourself, Scott McDonald, Griffiths, all these guys go in and they just start scoring goals, continue to score goals from what they're doing. He's got pace, he scores goals, his confidence
He's
is
confident
sky
right now as
high.
well, yeah.
I think it's going to be hard for Motherwell to keep him, I think, in this window regardless, not just for Scottish teams, because he has had such
Well,
a
Motherwell
big
in a
impact.
good position, so is Maswanise, because if the two of them
Yeah.
don't get someone in, it could end up becoming a transfer bidding war as well. So, I mean, he is in a really good position. He is scoring goals. I mean, Motherwell have been fantastic this season as well.
Yeah,
And again, I mean, it's-
arguably, I'd tell you, manager of the year is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because you talk about Motherwell, the Motherwell manager, Falkirk, mentioned
Yeah.
John
Danny
Performance of the
McGlynn, what
season
he's done,
for me.
Danny Rohl
Yeah,
since. I mean, it will be interesting.
Martin O'Neill.
Martin O'Neill, yeah.
Like
There
that.
was links with John McGlynn for Aberdeen as well. I can't see that one happening though.
But where do they go?
Aberdeen.
Where do Aberdeen go?
Well, again, it's just a classic example of putting all your eggs in the one basket and not having a strategy looking forward for me. I mean,
Well, if they get John McGlynn in.
no. I'm talking about before, because I mean that's now been a few weeks since Jimmy Tillene lost his job. it must have been coming. I mean, but Celtic, Aberdeen have just went totally thrown all their eggs into one basket. We're back in Jimmy Tilleen, and then all of a sudden it becomes, the position becomes untenable, and he has to go because, I mean, the performances, the results were shocking. Let's not be kidded. And then you look at it now, you would like to think that a club like Aberdeen would have had someone lined up, but obviously not. I don't think that John McGlynn won. I don't think that one will happen.
What? No, why can't you see that happening?
Because I just don't think it will. I mean, I don't.
But based on what, if you're John McGlynn, and
brought stability
with respect to Falkirk,
built a squad, get a player, style of play.
I'm not denying that he's not good enough to go and do it, but I just can't see it happening. That's, I mean, I'm no. Could John McGlynn go and manage Aberdeen and be successful? 100%. He's shown that. Some of the football, his
performances Saturday was one of the best I've seen
and
all
not
season.
Only that as well, he's got players in where you felt, I'm not sure about that signing. I'm not sure if he'll do it in the top flight. I mean, they never really went and recruited loads of players in the summer. You felt as if he believed that his team from the Championship was good enough to come up. And we all sat here and said, well, they're going to struggle. And all of a sudden, they've kicked on that belief there, the connection they've got. Could John McGlynn go to Aberdeen and be a success? 100%. But I just can't see it happening. But I don't know where Aberdeen go. I really don't know where they go.
Because you look at Motherwell recruitment in the summer, and they've brought a manager in who's got a clear identity and has been took the league by storm. I've spoke about a John McGlynn who's understands Scottish football, as everything that we've just said. A Stephen Robinson who's done well at St Mirren. But in the past, they've had a young manager. They've went for a foreign manager. I don't really know where they're going to go. Where do they go?
In fairness to Sporting Director, I think
he's been vocal. He's spoken.
He has, and he's on record as saying, they're going to take the time because they want to get the right person in. And I sort of understand that. I actually think Aberdeen have been a well-run football club, and I know you wanted Jimmy Tilleen sacked early, but I actually didn't mind the patience which they they had with him. And, I know the results at the end weren't great, hence why they made that decision. But they gave him every possible chance. And whatever you say, he did win a trophy. And that's a huge deal. And now it's sort of slowly. We're going to take your time. I think that he also talked about the sort of recruitment model there, and in January it'll be short-term signings, but they need to think longer term in the summer and build. So I don't actually mind the way that Aberdeen are running their club. It will be fascinating to see who comes in.
What about the bottom? We could have been speaking about a total different scenario if somebody had just taken the Kilmarnock job. Yeah.
It's not good looking for Kilmarnock. It's been tough. I think Neil McCann's went in there, changed a few things. That you see, when I've seen them since he came in, you've seen the players are buying into what he wants, but they're so fragile and they lack leaders. Any sort of leader. That at the weekend they go to 10 men. There's nobody on that pitch saying, let's just contain here. And you're playing against probably the worst team you could with 10 men. Just contain, get to a point where we can maybe have a new game plan. They actually played okay in
the first half though.
They score a goal that's marginally offside, but then it just falls to pieces. See this third and fourth goal, or in fact 3 of the 4 goals, the defending's terrible. They're just standing, no making a tackle, no making contact, and that for me is
down to the new manager?
In what way?
Well, not defending.
Telling him not to tackle.
I think it's been a common theme with Kilmarnock now for a number of weeks. In fact,
don't criticise Terry.
Number of months actually that Kilmarnock, and I think Neil will be the first to admit that. As with the previous managers at Kilmarnock, Stuart Kettlewell, sorry. When you look at the defending, has not been good enough all season. I mean, anything that goes in the Kilmarnock box, the goalkeeping situation has been a problem. Roos has came in. I thought, was it the 4th goal right at the end, but it was across him?
Yeah.
And then he's blaming everybody else. I think Kilmarnock need to get a dressing room. They need to find someone to actually manage that dressing room.
In the past, they've had like Stuart Finlay at the back's a massive miss for them from last season, but just the core quality players they've had, from Jordan Jones to Power, Dicker, to the most recent one with Armstrong, Kennedy, Murray.
It's October the last victory. Kilmarnock's last victory is October.
And Dundee are pushing
could they
on.
finish bottom?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Livingston's last victory was August. I mean, the two of them, it's incredible. The run of results that both of them are on. I mean, Livingston at the weekend as well. You speak about Kilmarnock just bunkering in and trying to take something. Livingston, they were 4-2 down with a few minutes to go, and they're still trying to get back in the game. Then they end up losing.
Although, they lose an early goal, they score 2 goals to take the lead, and for most of the first half they were good. The problem came in injury time where they concede 2 terrible goals that obviously gets Aberdeen the initiative at half time again. So, but I think Livingston look more likely in games that they could nick something than Kilmarnock do at the moment.
What does Neil McCann have to do to turn it around?
He needs to get some signings in. There needs to be, but that we've just spoke about the top end of the table, and it's a totally different game because you might need to move players out before getting ones in, but also you might have identified 3 or 4 players who are kind of saying, yeah, I'm interested, but they're actually waiting to see if that better move happens for them in the January.
I think the thing is, and we've all been there, where you think, I mean, for example, if David Watson's to go in the next few days, if he all of a sudden, just say it's 300 grand, 400 grand, whatever it may be.
What do you know?
No, I'm just saying, if he has to go, that money's not getting reinvested back in the squad.
Is he off then?
I don't know. I'm
You
saying,
normally don't come up with stuff like that unless...
No, but what I'm saying is he's probably the only one you're in that Kilmarnock squad saying move them on. But we've seen it before in Scottish football where you think, we're going to sell this one, we'll sell that one. But then to try and get players in as well, it is difficult. You're shopping in a total different market. Most
of their clubs' budgets will be spent in the summer. When you're then doing your work in the January, the guys that you're not wanting in your squad, you need to get rid of. But it's not as easy to get these guys out, and so it's a total harder.
Was this the discussions you had when you decided to
stay
here with us?
Not at all, and I don't know why you're coming at me with that. No, I'm just giving an insight into what transfer dealings are like.
Okay.
Neil's problem is with the greatest respect, who's going to want to go to Kilmarnock with the possibility of playing in the Championship next season, and that's the difficulty. But he knows Scottish football.
So what would he have seen to say, right, I'm going to go in there and turn this around then?
I mean, that's a question for him. I mean, he obviously just loves that part of the game. It's interesting. Stephen has probably had opportunities since he's left. It has to be the right opportunity. But some people just like that everyday involvement. The buzz, the interaction, and.
I think, listen, Kilmarnock are a good club, and Billy Bowie has, since he's went in there, has backed every single manager. They have, spent a lot of money, especially when it's, there's been times that have been tough. We know we were there when it was very tough, and you felt as if, right, it could be administration probably any time, when you go right back to the start before we had left. And so I think for Kilmarnock, it's a stable football club. Yes, there are a lot of Kilmarnock fans angry and the way it's been run recently, but I think you've got a good man in charge of the football club. He will probably admit to himself that he maybe needs a little more help regarding the football side of it. But for me, when I look at Kilmarnock right now, they do need to get a couple of players in. It's been stale now for a period of time. You go back to the summer, and I think there was probably too many players signed similar, rather than, I don't know Bhoys' wages, but just say they've maybe had, go and get 4 on £1,000 a week rather than getting, that might play rather than going and getting 2 at £2,000 a week. That may be a little bit better. I think there was a more emphasis on building a bigger squad at Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock's always had a good youth academy. You can always bulk the numbers up by giving opportunities to the young kids, and we've seen that because Brannan's came in. There's been others, been on the periphery of it. So the academy's good, and it always has. For me, I just felt as if Kilmarnock could have went and got a little bit more quality in the summer. But
for sure,
saying that, they actually started the season okay.
Yeah,
but since October, it's just fallen off a cliff.
Aye, I think so. And the summer was a massive rebuild. You lost nearly all your key players, and unfortunately, that's just no went well enough.
I think, see, one other thing as well, when you look at, and I know you've touched on it there, like that buzz, you just want to get back into it. I think sometimes when you've been there, I haven't, but when you look at, there must be something, because Neil McCann was working most weekends. He was at games all the time, but that buzz just to take you back into
you
every
have
day.
Your ideas, like everybody will sit and have your ideas of how you think it should be played or what you think you could do to make a successful team, and that's always going to be there. It's just how much do you really want to go and have the urge to go and do it? Because as much it's a brilliant environment involved in, there's a lot that you lose out on, and there's a lot of stress and strain that comes along with it.
Yeah.
So you need to want to do it to get back into it, definitely.
There's a lot of people in the media who are happy that Neil has gone back into management. People who
Any
work
names?
with him.
Yeah.
Couple
Would
here?
that be?
I don't know. It's
We
just-
miss him, man. We miss him. We miss his,
do,
we
yeah.
miss his angry, his
Yeah.
wee angry self on a Sunday when he turns up at games, wanting to fight with the world. And we miss that.
Yeah.
It won't
I
be
just
long
hope we
until
could-
you're battering them.
Oh,
It won't be long until you start slaughtering
what are
them
you saying?
week to week.
Oh.
Well, if you don't win games of football, you criticised. That's the way it is. You can't sit here and
It's
praise
awful.
someone if they're winning games of football. But
Okay.
Yeah.
well, that's
The
Okay.
double act will be straight on him.
the double act.
I hope, knowing Neil, I hope Kilmarnock to start winning games.
Yeah.
Mm.
Livi play Motherwell and Celtic the next few games as well, so it's not getting any easier for them.
Nah, but again, you talk about
But they've
squads.
been signing players.
If you look at squads,
Yeah.
I think they've got a more readied squad for that relegation fight than
That's
Kilmarnock
interesting.
do.
Do you think their
So
squad? Do you
Kelly's-
think
Kelly's 12th now? Kelly's down for you?
Do you think
No,
Livy's,
I'm just saying
do you
they've
think
getting better.
Livy's squad is better this year than it was last year?
Do you think what?
Livy's
I think
squad,
they've improved it
Is better than last year?
do you
slightly.
think the squad which Livy had last year is better?
slightly better this year than last year.
Oh, 100%. 100% it's
I do.
better. 100%.
You're
You're
just
right,
playing
champs,
against
you're right.
better quality teams as well, which is harder.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. But David Martindale has been backed. I mean, they've brought in a few players recently as well. I would imagine they're probably still trying to get a few in. They've got a big squad as well. So you've picked your top three. What's your bottom two? I think we both resigned to the three has resigned to the fact that it's going to be.
Again, at this moment in time, yeah, I think it's between Kilmarnock and Livy.
So what are you going for?
All depends on who's signed in January.
Can't sit the fence here, mate.
That's good.
Can't
That's,
sit the fence
that's
here.
where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
Well, as it stands right now, give me.
Kilmarnock 11th, Livy 12th.
Okay, what are you going for?
Kilmarnock 12th, Livy 11th.
Reasons? What's your reasons?
Just because you two used to play for Kilmarnock. Just,
Yeah, but you got on with Neil, so surely you want him to do well.
yeah.
You're missing your wee
Livy,
Coke.
I think Livy will finish bottom.
Yeah.
We can get that bit.
Bottom of the championship. Top of the championship. St Johnstone beat the weekend as
Oh,
well.
it's getting tight.
Partick winning.
And there's a big game coming this week.
I'm not sure if they play each other or not, but do you think whoever comes up, I mean, you would still expect St Johnstone to come up. Do you think whoever's below that would fancy themselves right now
No.
against? No.
I think the
bigger step up?
champion. I think it's the step up's still really big.
Yeah.
So I think whoever does finish in 11th will be favourites for that playoff game.
In fact, do you know what? I actually think it's St Johnstone Thistle on Friday night.
I think it is. It's a big game.
That is.
But tell
Who
you
you going
what,
for
it's
there?
a really, really tough league, that.
Who are you going for there?
Partick Thistle.
Partick Thistle.
Mhm. What a job Mark Wilson's done.
Oh, he has. He's done incredible. What are you going for?
What are you,
A
do,
draw.
do you even
A draw.
know much about the championship in Scotland?
I
course it does.
tell you,
Do you?
how insulting is that? That's
You do,
awful from
by the
you.
way, you do know that Friday night's that man's only day off, so he sits and watches the championships games.
Yeah.
And then when he
Get it
turns
down,
up on a Sunday, his conversations about the game on Friday night with James McFadden. That's the way that man works.
Absolutely.
I'm just
I'm
going to
pleased
previous
Ross
comments. that-
County have had a resurgence.
Yeah.
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 He opens his curtains for their games.
Yeah.
So, is the title race better than the relegation? Tighter? What you
Tell
want?
you what, over the years, the league structure and has held a lot of conversation. This season, there is a lot of entertainment
So,
all over the league, from getting in top six, winning the league, relegation. So it's been a good
more
season.
entertainment in the Scottish Premiership than the English Premier League. What are we going for?
This year it's a better title race in Scotland.
Seen that?
Is it? It's only 4 points. And
I know. Bit of a shocker for
Man
Arsenal
City.
yesterday as well.
Bad result.
But however. Right. Enjoyed that, guys.
Good to see you.
Great to see you both. Always enjoy.
Never really
Always
get into
enjoy
that.
seeing
Never
you.
really get into that red card discussion, friend. But there'll be more time.
What red card?
You know what red card. It's a bit surprised.
Why do you get so angry about stuff like that? I mean,
Not angry, friend.
You've got. I mean,
been a long time.
You talk about
It's been a long
Terry
time.
having anger issues. You have real anger
Real
issues.
anger
I mean,
issues.
we have just a bit of calmness here.
Yeah, we're all calm, mate. We're all calm.
Remember to like and subscribe and never miss an episode of The Warm-Up.